The movie starts with rough and tumbles detective Erin Bell arrives to a crime scene. There is a dead shooting victim with 3 dots tattooed on the back of his neck and dollar notes covered in purple dye. Police officers arrive on the scene and advise her to run because it's their case, but Bell insists that she knows who did it. Exhausted, she goes back to her car and sits down. Her supervisor at the police station informs her that she has received mail at the precinct. When she opens it, a bill stained with purple color is inside. She's received a message from someone. She visits the FBI office to meet Gil Lawson, her former boss, out of rage. She asks him if he can find the bill she received in the mail when they finally catch up. He questions whether she is truly interested in taking this route, but he persists. He attests to the match. Erin departs, prepared for conflict. On the back of her neck, 3 spots have scars from tattoo removal. In a flashback, Erin first meets Chris when she is considerably younger and more attractive. To dismantle a gang that is robbing banks, the 2 of them are being sent covertly. They carefully inspect their covers, and because they'll be posing as a couple, they practice a kiss. Erin calls a prison in the present to arrange a meeting with Toby, a gang member who is behind bars, but she learns that he has been granted compassionate release since he is dying. She arrives at his house by car and discovers him in bed, dying quickly. She says she wants to track down the gang's leader, Silas. While claiming ignorance of her whereabouts, he divulges the location of another gang member named Arturo, who is wanted for questioning. As long as she doesn't give him a handjob, he won't inform Erin. She initially declines, but eventually agrees, disgustedly. Toby informs Erin that Arturo hides out in a church and offers free legal counsel to those in need as a form of atonement. A flashback shows Silas, the gang's psychopathic leader, compelling Arturo to play Russian roulette in front of the entire group. At this moment, Erin and Chris's fictitious romance had fully materialized. Erin visits the church in the present but discovers it to be closed. When she goes to get a drink, she runs across Shelby, her own teenage daughter, and Jay, Shelby's sleazy older boyfriend. When Shelby rejects Erin's attempts to remove her from the situation, Erin strikes Jay and is ejected from the establishment. Shelby stays with Ethan, Erin's ex-boyfriend, who observes that Shelby isn't doing much to assist Erin at all and that he needs to do a better job of controlling Shelby. The following day, Erin goes back to the church undercover as a woman seeking assistance for a friend who is having immigration problems. Arturo is led to her, but as soon as he sees her, he flees. After a protracted pursuit, Erin succeeds in catching him. She claims she is just pursuing Silas and not him. Although Arturo is unaware of his location, he is aware of the identity of the lawyer who assists Silas in continuing to obtain the proceeds of his robberies. Erin visits Attorney DeFranco in his opulent residence. She tells him that she is aware of his assistance to Silas, but he mocks her savagely, claiming that it was her responsibility that Chris and a destitute bank teller perished during her undercover operation all those years ago. Erin tries to strike him, but DeFranco's security guy attacks her from behind, brutally beating her, while also stealing her revolver. When the security officer tries to pull Erin out of the lavatory, she leaps on him and knocks him out cold. She then grabs the gun back and marches outside where DeFranco is instructing his son in a batting cage. He admits that he knows when the drop is going to happen after she pistol whips him till he is covered in blood. He informs her that Petra, Silas's long-term lover, will be making the pickup instead of Silas. When Erin visits the drop, she finds a completely drugged-out Petra who was once stunning and bright. In an effort to catch Silas, she rides along with Petra's car. Antonio, her current partner, has been trying to reach her non-stop, but she ignores him and says she's off on her own. She follows Petra and observes her assembling a group of men, donning masks, and arming themselves with weapons. She understands they are ready to carry out another bank robbery. She radios it in, gets a shotgun out of her trunk, and breaks inside the bank with 2 nearby police officers to put an end to the robbery as it's happening. Petra gets struck in the leg but manages to flee as a major shootout erupts. Erin pursues Petra to another business and tries to handcuff her there while allowing the police to pursue her in the wrong direction. Petra responds by striking Erin many times in the midriff, the same area where DeFranco's bodyguard beat her. Petra is thrown into Erin's trunk after she gains the upper hand. She ejects Petra and restrains her. Petra, who is going through a drug detox, begs Erin to let her go. Erin refuses and leaves Petra for the police to discover, but not before asking her where she's going to meet Silas. Erin steals Petra's phone when Petra informs her that she never knows and that Silas will text her. Erin goes to Ethan and tells him she wants him to take Shelby and move out of town somewhere else and start a new life because Shelby has ended up in the hospital with a busted hand after getting into an incident while out with Jay at a bar. She guarantees to fetch him a lot of money. Erin learns she is carrying Chris's child in a flashback. To escape the undercover and police lives, the two of them intend to carry out the robbery and keep a portion of the loot for themselves. Every possible scenario for how they'll explain everything to the cops when it occurs is discussed. Erin visits a storage unit in the present where she has concealed a bag of cash from the robbery all those years ago. But when she opens it, she discovers that a lot of it is covered in purple dye and is therefore useless. She yells out in anger. She meets Jay with the meager amount of money she can actually use. She offers him the cash to leave and stop corresponding with Shelby. Despite his displeasure, he accepts the payment in the end. In a flashback, the bank robbery is shown to be disclosed towards the end. When the terrified bank teller is bagging the cash, the cruel Silas orders her not to add any color to the money. Everything is going according to plan at this point. As the group runs away with the money, a dye pack that was planted outside the bank goes off, ruining an entire duffel full of banknotes. Despite the fact that he was able to get away, Chris makes a U-turn as he enters the building so that he can prevent Silas from killing the girl. In spite of the fact that Silas claims to be an agent, the man shoots both the bank teller and him. Erin's reaction to the news that Chris will be staying is devastating, and she immediately begins driving away. Toby confronts the woman as she is driving and demands to know whether or not she is a law enforcement official. Toby is cuffed after she shatters her van in an effort to escape away from him and get away from her pursuers. As she sobs for Chris, she gets her money bag out of the closet. Shelby invites Erin to join her for dinner, and while they are eating, she tells Erin a tale about how, when she was a little child, her mother would pull her away from school and take her camping in the middle of nowhere. Shelby receives a heartfelt apology from Erin, who also acknowledges that she is to blame for the passing of Shelby's father. Erin claims that Ethan is the only other father who is unwavering in his stance on the matter. Erin expresses her regret to Shelby for being such a terrible mother, assuring her that she would always love her, and wishing that Shelby may one day comprehend. After noticing a text from Silas on Petra's phone, she gives her a kiss on the forehead and then leaves after reading the message. Erin travels to the spot where Silas will be waiting to pick her up. When Silas first sees her, he can't help but laugh, and he immediately asks if she got the message that he had brought, the dyed dollar she got at the precinct. Erin shoots Silas to death while simultaneously dispersing money that has been stained with dye. The next day, the police are seen looking at the body of Silas, who was the deceased person seen at the beginning of the film and who ultimately dies at the end of the film. When Erin tells the police this time that she knows who did it, we have no doubt in our minds that it was in fact her. Erin hands Antonio a note that contains an address and assures him that he will be able to put the pieces together when he inquires as to what the hell she has been up to. After getting into her vehicle, the action that we saw her perform for the first time, she comes back and seats down. She pulls up her top, exposing severe internal bleeding as well as nasty bruises all over her body in every location. She distinctly remembers coming to the conclusion that she would take some of the money while she was on her deathbed with Chris. We get a more in-depth look at the scene. Erin is sick and tired of her dismal life and wants to get away from it all. Erin is persistent in her request for Chris's assistance, despite the latter's reluctance. It is his opinion. An additional flashback occurs during the camping trip that Erin and a younger Shelby went on together. In the present, while Erin is looking up towards the sky, she passes away. Thanks for watching. For more videos like this, please subscribe, like, and share this video, and leave a comment with the name of any film you'd like us to review.